Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, those housekeeping notes. All the product I use and all the dimensions will be listed below. There's a link to my online store if you wish to purchase any products and help support my channel. There's a Facebook link and you can join our Facebook group. There's also my email if you have any questions. And finally, remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. We're going to be playing with Snowy Wonder today. I'm also going to be bringing in some other product. Another one I'm bringing in is Sentimental Wishes. I wanted this verse here, Have a Very Merry Christmas. So we're bringing that one in to go along with this set. And you're probably wondering, what are we going to be making today? Whoop. We are going to be making, there's a beautiful little envelope, and we are making this card. It's a very simple card, a lot of embossing. I'm gonna hold this up as close as I can so you can see all the snow embossing all over that card. And then the inside is some stamping. So let's get started, and we're gonna start with the stamping first. So I have a bunch of scrap pieces here, and I have my mat, and I have a piece for the inside and my envelope. And as usual, I think I've forgotten to grab a stamp. So we'll grab that right now. I forgot to grab the big snowflake. So we'll pull that out. Have to forget something. Wouldn't be me. So we'll come back to that one. I think we'll start on the little pieces first. So I'm gonna grab some, pull my pieces up a little closer to me here. I have a lot of things on blocks at the moment. A lot. I wasn't joking when I said I had a lot on blocks. I do. Okay, so let's get started. Let's do the house first. The house I'm going to be doing in Poppy Parade. Put it on that big piece. And we'll stamp that in Poppy Parade. And that is the only Poppy Parade I believe we're using on the front of this card. And then on the front of the card, we're going to need some mountains. And I'm going to be making those out of Misty Moonlight. I'm going to put the mountains on this piece. Oh, I guess, yeah. And Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to be doing 2 generations. So we're going to stamp these off twice. Oop. That's okay. It'll die cut out. Oop. All right. Supposed to be doing 2nd generation. And there's my 2nd generation right there. Okay. And let's see, that's it for Misty Moonlight for now. We're going to be doing a tree, this tree, and we're going to do it in Shaded Spruce. So there's the Shaded Spruce tree. Just pile these all over here. And let's see, what else do we need stamped? We have the mountains, the trees. Oh, I still need the stamp in Misty Moonlight, Let It Snow. And these should be all the pieces. I'm putting this in the middle because we're going to be using a die to cut that out. Ooh, that didn't turn out very dark. Let's try that again. I think my Misty Moonlight needs a little ink. There, I moved it around a little bit more. So there we got the Misty Moonlight. So that should be all the pieces we need the stamping on the front of the card. Now, as for the inside of the card, we are going to be using, I'm done with those scraps, we are going to be using black and Misty Moonlight. I guess I should have left it open. And I have a piece of 4.5 by 5 1/4 standard size. And I am looking for my verse. So I'm going to put it in first. I'm going around quite a bit because I've discovered the center of my Misty Moonlight is a little on the weak side. I'll center this up as best I can. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to put in a penguin. Here's my penguin. Remember, black, if you want a good coat, give it a little twist on the black because it's different than the other. Oop, I want a little more on that. There we go. And I put a little penguin down here. See, he looks nice and cute. And then we're going to put a snowman in. Now, on my snowman, I have a hat. And I don't want to stamp the snowman without having a little mask in there. So I took and stamped there's a little hat in here, and I've already stamped it, and I cut it out. It is this tiniest little piece right here. And I'm just going to sort of set this down here to see about where I want my hat. That looks pretty good. Put that little mask right there before you stamp your hat or the thing. You just have to cut that little hat out. You can't use the dies. You got to cut around right around it, or you'll have a gap. And I'm just going to put right there. And then when I take this mask off, and I've used this mask multiple times, I have a spot there where I can come in and hopefully, I'm putting that right back in my case. You can use it several times. And I'm going to close these up before I end up with colors all over me. Now I think I'm still going to give him a red hat. And didn't I print out the hat? Yeah, I did. It's right there. This is Poppy Parade. And I've lined him right up, and we don't have a line going right through his head. We don't want that. Okay. And then I have snowflakes to add to this. Now I have put these two little snowflakes in here, and I'm going to put them here and here in Balmy Blue. So I'll put this one this way and put these guys this way. I'm not going to take that too far. And then there's a little one with lots of little dots like snow falling. And I'm going to do 2 generations. And you could purchase a few. I'm just twisting and moving around. Doing 1 or 2. Whatever you want. Right over the top of this. Actually, you could almost do 3 generations with this one. I just want some dots to represent the snow falling. Just like that. Okay. And, oh, we have to do the envelope. So let's do that envelope right now. I'm going to pull in, let's use this real quick to clean off my snowman. Because I didn't mount, I'm going to show you how I mounted all of the snowflakes that I love this little one. I wish they sold this chamois all by itself. I love it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these snowflakes and I'm going to take my envelope, if I can find it, and I'm going to line up everybody where I want it on the envelope. I'm going to do them just about like this. I'm going to come in here with the block. Get my Balmy Blue and stamp my snowflakes right in there like that. And you know what? I really think I'm done stamping now. So let's do a little coloring on this house. Needs a little coloring, and we need a little coloring on the snowman and the guy here. So we're going to grab Balmy Blue first, the light. And I'm just going to come in here and just add, can't have them walking on nothing. I'm just adding like a little ice pool for him to be sitting in. Same with the snowman. Just a little ice pool. Actually, I think I want this ice pool to go over a little bit more on this side. And I'm just literally scrubbing a little ice pool in there. And as it dries, you can see it looks more like ice. And then we need our carrot, and I'm going to use Pumpkin Pie for the nose on the snowman. Got to add a little color to him. Just a little pumpkin nose. And I'm going to use the light pumpkin for the penguin and his feet. Just a little color there. So that's the inside of the card. And then I'm going to use yellow. I'm going to use daffodil. I think I'm going to use daffodil light this time. And I'm just going to go in here and not trying to get the red because I don't want it accidentally bleeding. And it shouldn't bleed, but sometimes colors do things you're not wanting. And I'm just coloring in the windows, so there's light in the windows. And I'm going to use light crumb cake, I think, to color the door in. But you can use any color you want for this. I just wanted to add a little bit more to it. Just a little like there. So all these pieces are ready to be cut out. Just moving a few things out of the way here so we have some room. I believe I've got all the stamping done. So we have some die cutting to do. So I'm going to move these out of the way, but I'm going to show you we do have some of this already done. There's the house and the tree. And the mountains we needed. And I've also die cut. Here's the other mountain. Oop. So there's those pieces already cut out. I'm going to move them off to the side. I've also die cut. There's a tree, freestanding tree die. It looks like, oh, I guess that's right here. It's this one. Just a little die. I cut one out of Shaded Spruce and one out of Garden Green. Did a little die cutting a few things ahead of time. So we won't have to die cut those. I'll use those on something else. We will be die cutting the Let It Snow. And we will be doing that with, this is out of the Nested Essentials. This is the small one right here. We'll be doing that one. And I did already die cut a tree base out of Pecan Pie. So we'll be doing embossing on that in a few minutes. Excuse me. So let's do some die cutting. And I'll try to throw a few things on here at one time. Tossing stuff over. My plates just ended up all in the wrong place. I have plate one, plate two, plate three, another plate three. And we are going to need a piece of Balmy Blue. Not this big of a piece, so I'll probably cut it down. And this is one of the globes in this set. There's two globes. The other globe is a taller and longer one. There's lots of fun little snowflakes and stuff in this set too. But let me cut this part the way off. We don't need to run that much paper through, and I can save part of it. So we need to run that through. And I think we'll run this one through at the same time. And I think that will take care of all the die cutting we have. Like I said, I did do a little bit ahead of time. I want to make sure this is centered. And I just don't want this moving. I cut the paper a little short. I want to make sure it stays inside the blue. So I'll run those on through. Trying to put things away and they don't want to go away. So this is that little Let It Snow with the stitching on it. And here is our snow globe. Just like that. Not much to it yet. Okay, and I believe that is enough of the die cutting we had. So now it's time to do some embossing. I'm going to get rid of plates 3 and 2, and I'm going to bring in plate 4 to go with number 1. And the first thing we're going to emboss is our stand. Now this is, you could use the birch if you wanted. I grabbed the Timber 3D embossing folder. And I particularly, when I was looking, I like this piece that has the eye in it, where you could actually, there's another one up here. And I'm going to put that in there. But then, believe it or not, I'm not going to use the emboss side. I'm going to use the deboss side, because I thought it looked really cool. I'll show you when I get done, so you can see that. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the difference on screen or not, but we'll see. But you could use whichever side you liked. So, this is the emboss side, where everything's coming out. And this is the deboss side. There's not a whole lot, but I like the look, the depth of the grain and stuff. It looks deeper. So that's why I went with that one. And then we're going to be using the Snowflake embossing folder, which is called Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder. It's this one. And first we're going to be embossing our globe. Now, you want to always cut your globe out and then emboss. Don't emboss and then cut the globe out, because you'll be squishing your embossing and you won't be happy with it. You have to trust me on this one. And I'm going towards the bottom because I want as much snow dimension as I can get. Lighter at the top, heavier at the bottom. Okay. I just realized, I was looking at my screen here, that I did not silence my phone before I started. The reason I know this is I just got a notification that Elise Tilsner was going live. Hi, Elise. Okay. Then you're going to need a piece of white that is 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to emboss that as well with the snowflake. Now, I line this up here on the line. I want to keep these snowflakes fairly straight on. We're not having a total storm. And we don't have a blizzard going. So then we have all that beautiful embossing on that. And I do believe that is all the embossing and cutting we have to do. Now we can assemble this card. So you hold on for a second. I've got to move, kitty. The cats are laying all over watching and listening to me. So let's grab all of our pieces here. And I think this is a piece of Balmy Blue 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue that in. But if you didn't want the penguin and the snowman, you could put trees on the inside. Just do whatever you want. It's your card. But I thought they were so cute, I wanted them on the inside. Okay, then we're going to take the embossing, the snowflake one, and we're going to mount it to the front. Like I said, once you get all the pieces done, and this is mostly just a lot of die cutting, but not bad. Get that all lined up. Okay. Next, I'm going to pull the blue one in with all the embossing on it. Oh, I am wrong. I did make a mistake. We've got to bring the machine back out. I needed to cut a white globe out, and I'm going to show you why. I knew I forgot something. Hey, if you don't forget something once in a while, people won't think you're human. Well, I'm sitting here thinking, why is there an extra piece of white paper sitting here? That's because I need a white globe. We're going to use it. And you guys know when you're die cutting, you need plate 1, not plate 4. You need plate 2 and 3 and another 3. How many of you have been doing that? You've been doing one thing, you go to grab something, grab the wrong plates. Okay. Because this is what we're going to use to make our snowbank. Okay, now I think I'm done with that. And the reason I wanted to die cut this piece, excuse me, sorry, I'm still getting over my whatever it was. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make some snow in this, but I don't want it real heavy or thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here maybe, I don't know, from my fingernail up. It depends on your size, maybe 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to tear towards me. I'm going to tear towards me. Okay, I'm tearing this way towards me. I'm just sort of use my thumb and my fingers to just sort of make a fluffy bank. It doesn't have to be straight. I don't want it poking up though, so I'll just pull that off. It's going to turn out different every time. It doesn't matter. I can use that for something else. And I'm going to glue that on. Now, it's not going to stay this plain. I'll show you in a minute how pretty it's going to get. And then I'm going to line this up. And the reason I chose to use a die cut is because that way it would line up just perfect in here. It goes up a little uphill. That's okay. The snow's been drifting. So that way it lines up perfect in there. Make sure I've got this corner down. I don't. There we go. Okay. Next, I want to take and I'm going to start laying out things on here. As soon as I pick everything up. I have my house and I wanted to go back here. And, you know, all cards don't ever always turn out the same. I'm going to put a tree here. I want to tuck my tree in, actually, I think. So it looks like it's more in the, and if it hangs off a little bit, that's fine. And then I have some mountains. And we'll tuck these in about like this. I'm going to have 3 mountains, and I think I'm going to have the dark one. I'll save this for something else. And then we'll put these trees here. So I'm going to put this one in here first. I'm going to glue it down. And I'm sticking the trunk in, or you could cut it off. I don't care if it sticks out of the globe a little bit. And then I'm going to put in, just getting a rough idea where I want everything. I want this mountain right about there. And this mountain right about here. And the little one right in front of it. Mountains, different heights, give it a little bit of depth. And that one's going to come down just a little bit. And then we're going to put the others up on dimensional. So this is going to go here. So we're going to need some dimensionals. I need some big ones and some little ones. So let's pop up this house first. Small. Well, that's a little bigger than I wanted. There we go. Always use all the sides off your dimensionals. Both the mini and the large have sides you can cut up and use. And we'll put him down about like that. And then on these little ones, make sure I've got the back side of the trees. And I'm going to put one mini down here and one here. And then I'm going to take a mini. This is how many we have to have this. One mini up here. Hang on, I'm going to grab with the tool. My fingers are too clumsy, they won't fit. One there. And this is a half of a mini. That's how small this is. But you need to get one up in the top or your trees will sag. And I think I'm going to put this shaded spruce tree down here. And I think I'm going to put him over a little bit on this one. And then the green one, I'll put him up a little bit. So I have a little depth going on there. A little village. Okay, now we're going to put the village on the card. Now I would recommend when you're doing this, let me find this here. This is the stand. I would recommend putting the round piece on first and then putting the stand. I found it just easier to put this in than this. But I want to get this down and see if I make sure I get it down far enough that I have room for this. About like that. So I'm going to grab, I'm actually going to grab a full pack of dimensionals. A full sheet. I will use those sides, don't worry. And I'll put some dimensionals on this. And one in the middle so it doesn't sag, and then a couple on this. I think 3 will do it. I'm going to put this piece on first. Now you could put it up and then put all the pieces on, but I just found it much easier to have the whole thing decorated before you stuck it on the card. Especially if you make a mistake and you have to take something off. You're not fighting with the card too. I'm going to sort of set this here as a guide and try to get this centered. It looks pretty good. I like that. And then put this on. It's easier to line this up with this than the other way around. But you can try it either way you want. It's your call. And then I'm going to set this right up. So it looks like it's right on top of it, like that. Now our Let It Snow, I'm going to grab some seal, and I'm going to grab some ribbon. This is the gold and silver trim ribbon. Use the silver. I'm going to grab, and I'm going to put a bunch of seal all over the back of that. And I'm literally going to just make a figure 8. Just gonna, came at too big an angle. But you could just run it back and forth if you want. If you don't want a figure 8, I wanted like a figure 8. Try to keep your sides pretty even. Those look pretty good. And then cut this off back here so it's not visible. So it looks like that. And then we'll grab some more dimensionals. Now this is pretty thin ribbon, and I'm going to try to put at least one over, well, some dimensionals over the ribbon part to make sure it doesn't move on me. I think 4 should do it. I'm going to put one in the middle. I like my dimensionals. And I'm going to put this up. Don't want it going off the card all the way. Oh, I forgot. No dimensionals on the bottom. I did this last time too. Don't put any dimensionals on the bottom of this. Make sure you have some seal. Hang on, I'm stuck to a dimensional. Yeah, invite your friends. I get crazy, make a mess up. You know, that's half the fun of crafting, is having fun. If you don't have fun, put some seal on the bottom so it sticks, because you're overlapping this like that. Do as I show you, not as I actually did. Okay, we're not done yet though. I decided it needed a few more things. It needs some wing castella, and it needs some more snowflakes. And these are the white loose snowflakes. And do I have my take your pick tool out here? Of course not. Just one moment. It's in my toolbox. Just a second. There we are. This is where a take your pick tool is a lifesaver. And here's the end I do have, and it goes on this, like this. I'm just going to use this piece, and you can use it separately if you want it, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. If I can get the lid off. There we go. Has a little sticky there. And be careful opening these that you don't fling them across the room, because there's tiny, tiny little snowflakes in there. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to take a couple and put them over here so it's a little easier, and I can see what size they are. So I'm going to probably put about 5 on there, maybe 5. So I'm going to put on some little dots of glue. Not like that. Start with a big one up here. And a big one here. And this is a medium size one. Maybe. Here's a tiny one we'll put here. And another tiny one. You could put as many snowflakes as on as you wanted. But I thought 5 was enough. And I always keep mine in the plastic bag as well, because I have had these actually pop open. And if you've got loose gems or embellishments like this and they go all over the floor, they are really hard to pick up. Just an FYI. Next thing we're going to do is this thing needs some more bling. So I've grabbed my wing castella. Make sure it's running. Got some. There we go. Got a nice run. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put wing castella all over the snow here. I will hold this up to the camera so you can see the wing castella. Doing on the white. I'm going to do some wing castella on the tops of, now I'm not trying not to hit the blue because the blue will bleed. And then I'm going to make sure I've got a nice flow going, not too much. And I'm going to put wing castella on the gems, which you can do. You can actually color these too if you wanted. But who'd want to color a white snowflake? They should be white. But the glistening does help. And I'm just going to go right along the edge here. I don't want to get into the red too much. So we don't want that bleeding. So that's our, I'm going to hold this up. So hopefully you can see the sparkle on this snowflakes now. I'm trying to get an angle where you might be able to see it. There you go. It's got to dry yet, and then there's a lot of sparkle on the thing. So it looks like a snow globe. So that's my card for today. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you give it a try. And those who are in my class coming up, you'll be seeing this one again. By the way, if you are interested in attending a live class, send me an email. If you live in the Portland, Vancouver area, I do hold live classes. So if you're interested, please send me that email. And thank you for joining me today. I will see you next time. Goodbye.